Stand tall now, for goodness sake. Skies burning on full display. This one and only gift before me, holding every breath in place, severing slowly, meant to show me how we know that even when we're lost we're found.
Briar, as I stand before you today, surrounded by our loved ones, I am overwhelmed with gratitude for the gift of your love. From the moment we met, I knew you held something very special, and it soon became very clear to me that you were the one that I wanted to share the rest of life's adventures with. Navigating life has never been easier. You put things into perspective so well and provide me with clarity when making decisions. Thank you for always bringing me back on track and aligning me with the values that we have set together. You really do make me a better version of myself. I love so many things about you. I love the way you laugh, the way you tell stories. I love how determined you are even when the surf is terrible and you're never going to catch a wave. I'll vow to always be there for you. I promise to listen and support you through all the challenges that life throws our way. And I promise to never take life too seriously either, and to always be positive and see the funny side of things. I vow to care for you right through to our last moments. Briar, I love you more than words can express, and I will spend the rest of my days showing you just how much you mean to me.
Tom, I've been so excited to walk down this aisle to you. I knew that as soon as I saw you smiling, it would wash away my nerves. It was your smile which drew me to you when we first met. With it, you stole my heart. Even now, more than 4 years later, your gaze holds the same spark, which is full of love and warmth. You are my rock, always there to lift me up when I stumble and fall. Just like the times you pick me up off the sand after being dumped by a shore break. You give me a kiss and say, "Shame, babes, it was a tough day in the office out there." I promise to celebrate every success, no matter how big or small. I promise to give my unwavering support when the journey gets tough. I promise to make you laugh and to keep talking even when I know you're not listening. I vow to stand by you in times of happiness, and in times of sadness, in times of plenty, and in times of scarcity. Together we will laugh, we will dream, we will build a future filled with love and endless possibilities.
Tom and Briar have vowed in our presence to love each other, to trust one another, and to share a lifetime together. They have formalized this bond between them by what they have promised and by the sharing of rings as a symbol of their love. Therefore, Tom, Briar, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Tommy may kiss the bride.
I love you too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
It gives me great pleasure to present for the very, very first time Mr. and Mrs. Foster.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Finally, these are the people we're all here to see, support, love, celebrate, She was just a little girl that fell in love with a sea captain, and he's the human embodiment of a Patagonia t-shirt. Please give the loudest cheer you can to Briar and Tom, Mr. and Mrs. Foster. It's so cool to be standing here today and sort of look at this table and sort of realise, you know what, something incredible happened today. And that was that, of course, Rob didn't stuff anything up and he remembered the rings. So well done, mate. Good job to you. But I think everyone here will agree that, Briar, you look absolutely beautiful today. Absolutely beautiful. And Tom, you're here too, which is important. In seriousness though, Tom, mate, just quickly, personally, I'm so happy I finally get a little brother. Especially one that's so, you know, like kind, generous, clever, athletic, handsome. Sorry, mate, I can't read your writing here, but that's all right. Don't worry though, ladies and gentlemen, dinner is going to be served very, very soon. But what we're going to do first is get into the first round of speeches, all right? And the first two people up here are two people who are very close to the bride. They knew her as she was growing up, and I'm sure they were heavily involved in the assessment and approval process when it came to Tom. So we're going to hear all about that. Can I please welcome, probably up here so everyone can see you, Jade and Kia.
It's an honour to stand here today to celebrate the love of Briar and Tom in every possible way. Thank you for inviting me to share in your joy as we reminisce and celebrate a tale of a girl and a boy. Let's journey back to days of old where friendship blossomed, stories were told. In St. Peter's halls, Briar stood out so bright with an epic fringe that made her eyes pop just right. Not just a girl of books, but one who could sail, with a chilled vibe and interesting stories to unveil. In the Year 11 classroom, Briar found her way. After hours, she was always keen for a gather or party per se. Mac and cheese and halloumi, her go-to snack, would laugh and munch till the twilight went black. Side by side, covered in bronzer and jet black hair, inseparable companions, we were a radiant pair. Now, we all know Briar loves her jants, but let's not forget, Woody's got her to dance. She fit into our gang with the utmost ease, a bond formed effortlessly as if by breeze. Overseas she then soared, her heart unfurled, in the vast expanse of the yachting world. A chief stewardess, she claimed her throne, in every wave her strength was shown. Through dating's game, Briar sought her flame, but Tinder and Bumble just weren't the same. Encountering duds wherever she went, her hopes for romance often seemed spent. Then along came Tom in a boat so grand, Dr. Briar's marina as fate had planned. Their eyes met amidst the ocean's blue, and from that moment on, their connection grew and grew. On Coomera River, in water serene, Tom planned a date, a romantic scene. Paddleboards gliding under the sky's soft hue, just two of them enjoying the view. In a hidden nook on private land's embrace, they found a cozy spot. Hearts began to race. Amidst the whispers of the river's gentle hiss, Tom and Briar shared their first kiss. In COVID's chaos, their love did thrive. Tom flew in and out, Briar's hope kept alive. During 2 weeks of quarantine, solitary gloom, Briar would send gifts waving up to his room. A steadfast beacon, she awaited his return, each moment apart, a lesson for hearts to learn. They then bought a house at Dicky Beach, a bit of a trek, but still within my reach. Their first house became a home, a perfect start. They jazzed it up with nice furniture and African art. In the landy they roam, with Inca front and centre, hand in hand, ready for every adventure. With love as their anchor, they weather life's storms. Together they conquer in all but great form. Explorations are plenty, from deserts to seas, South Africa's sands and those Namibia trees. They surf the waves and rode the tides. Tom's binoculars ready with his birdwatching guides. Always there with open doors, their home a place where laughter soars. Quick to answer the phone, never a fuss. Your love and support means the world to us. So here's to the Fosters, may your love endure. In every adventure, may it remain pure. With Inca as witness and friends by your side, may your love story forever abide. Wow, I should have gone first. It's incredible. Wow. All right. I'm Kia. I'm going to zoom in a little. My name is Kia. I'm lucky to name Briar since, well, she says grade 3, but I've got a bad memory. So about like 8 or 9 years old, she migrated to Tassie from Melbourne via Indonesia, via New Zealand, in Invercargill. And yes, and we had all our schooling down there. And Briar's known by many nicknames in our house. Or, I mean, not so much Squeak in our house, but more Briar Pants on Fire, definitely by Dad. Spuddy for our love of Spuds. But Brie is one that's really stuck for us. The Lindberghs are like my second family, like literally. We'd just spend, like, Bro and I would spend all our spare time together, whether it be, like, literally after school or in the school holidays at Bishno, doing stuff. Or sailing with the Lindberghs, which I'm still amazed that Briar, like, knows where to go on a boat. Thank goodness. A sense of direction, yes. Complimenting me well. We're also very good. So, yeah, we're fairly inseparable. She was like my skinny tan twin. We played basketball and we dubbed the ankle biters. Because we didn't really shoot any goals. We just kind of tapped the ball out of the way. And then we did drama as well at school and after school. And that's where our acting career began. And consequently, that was Briar's natural progression into accounting. And Ray Wynn, as a shift working nurse, as I now know myself, was not really there for after school pickup. So Briar was always with us. And if not, we were wagging. And it was always this. Briar has a dentist appointment, and I always go to those. And Mum was always there to back us up and lie and get us out of it. So that was great. Mum was in on the, had our back. And then, I forgot to say as well that we went on a trip to New Zealand, which was really lovely, and meeting Briar's family, and that's until Mum threw a, like, whammy and cut that short, but that was like something to remember forever. And then, so right, it's great. It was going great. And then Brian moved to Brisbane. And that was in year 10. And we tried to fake everything. Like Brie was getting real sick. And then it didn't work, so we're going to run away. But then they still moved. And then that was devastating. But then I got heaps of trips to Queensland, which was great. And then she moved back. And then Bri was devastated she moved back. So then she came and did college all over again. Repeated year 11. But like regardless of the months and the days, the weeks, I'm pretty rubbish with, Bri's the organised one. But so much time could pass, but it's like when we talk again, like it's like no time has passed. It's just that friendship that's really lovely. It's just right where it left off. You can really be yourself with her. And what else we've got to... and Brie even came down when our eldest, Eve, was born. She came and stayed with us for like a week or two, and it was just amazing. She showered us in love, and it was just amazing. And like so thankful to have that time with her when she came down when he was born. And like we hope Albie's not listening because he's the second born. Love you, Albie. And Tom. We're just so happy that Brie can call you your wife. It says, secured the deal, husband. Just couldn't be happier. You guys are both so similar and complement each other perfectly. Very laid back, adventurous, surfing. I don't know if Briar lied to you about how good at surfing she was before you met. I did. But I feel like Bree's regained herself. But it's just amazing to be part of a special day and for my whole family to come. It's been really magical and like really honoured. It's just amazing. We feel very special. So here's to Briar and Tom. May your journey together be filled with endless love, laughter, and unforgettable adventures. Cheers to the newlyweds. And cheers. And over to Ben.
Thank you, Ben, and good evening, everyone. It's amazing to have so many close friends and family here in Fiji to celebrate Tom and Briar on their special day. I trust you're all having a fabulous time, and you're immersing yourselves in the Fijian lifestyle here, and you all have your drinks topped up so we can continue to toast the newlyweds. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rob, and I am Tom's younger brother, and tonight, alongside Ronnie, one of his best men. It's a real honour for me to be standing up here tonight giving this toast. I spoke to Tom a couple of months ago, just checking in if he wanted me to in fact say a few words, and his response was, well, you are my only brother, so that would be fantastic. I didn't know whether to take that as a little jab or a vote of confidence, but here we are. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for the effort they've made to get here. Some of you have taken time off work, have babysitters at home, but whatever it's taken, thank you for being here. We have family and friends from all around the world here tonight, and it really astounds me how far some people will come for a good party and a free meal. Now, before I get into talking about my book, let's just take a moment to appreciate the beautiful bridesmaids. Jen, Nicole, Jade, and Kia. What a team you are. Not only do you look stunning tonight, but your enthusiasm and support of Brian in preparation for the wedding has been amazing. Your speeches just reinforce what a special woman Briar is. So let's all raise your glasses to the bridesmaids. All of you here tonight already know the amazing guy that Tom is. But as his brother, tonight I want to share a few special memories and qualities that make him the person he is. The relationship that Tom and I share, I feel, is quite unique. We are only 18 months apart and spent the first few years of our life on a hops farm in South Africa. And then after immigrating to Australia, we lived in the Glasshouse Mountains until we finished school. This meant that we did almost everything together, and we were pretty much inseparable. Everything that Tom did, I wanted to do. And I really couldn't have asked for a better older brother and role model growing up. By no means did this mean that we didn't have our fair share of disputes and disagreements, as all siblings do. And I'm sorry to say that, looking back, many of these stem from me being the annoying and fairly competitive little brother. As many of you know, Tom is an all-around talented guy and a skilled sportsman, and this was something that's really impressed me, even if it created a highly competitive environment between us. When we were younger, tennis was a massive part of our lives, and every spare moment we had, we were out in the court. Tom usually had the upper hand in many of our matches. Tom's big weapon was his big kick serve that he used on me all the time, but he had to use it sparingly, otherwise all hell would break loose on the other side of the court. In addition to that, when we would practice at home, one of the things I used to do was I wouldn't let Tom leave the court until I'd won a memorable last point. You know, it had to be a fantastic point. And that sometimes meant Tom had to stay out in the court for hours and hours. Sometimes, after some time, if I hadn't hit a great winning shot, Tom would make a run for it and sprint out the court side gate when I wasn't looking. In my rage, I'd pelt balls at him and scream all sorts of things, but despite dealing with this day in and day out, he always seemed to come back the next day, although a bit battered and bruised. He was an incredible support through long and tough days of tennis when we were younger and continues to be the supportive brother in every sense of the word today. Tom is also an incredible leader. He has a goal-orientated mindset and has always had a huge drive to fulfill his passions in life. These qualities have helped him achieve lots of sporting, musical, and academic accolades growing up. And some of you may not know that he played the lead role in our junior school musical of Oliver. I was the proud courier of Mr. Brownlow's books. I sweated over my 3 words of, "Here, your book, sir." Well, that's whereas Tom had pages and pages of lines and a few singing solos thrown in. Some of you may not know that he was also a fantastic tap dancer back in the day. So if you ask him nicely, you may get his happy feet going later on. Needless to say, he seemed to have a hand in everything growing up, which paved the way for continued success in later years. Tom and I have had a lot of adventures together. In 2007, when Tom was 14, Mum and Dad took us on a whirlwind trip around the world. On this family adventure, we had some of the best times, as well as a few firsts for Tom and I. When we were in South Africa, we had a big reunion with old friends. And Tom and I had our first experience with alcohol. While all the parents were out in a different room, someone snuck a bottle of old brown sherry, and we all had a few sips. Tom maybe a few more than others. I'll never forget Tom hugging this bucket all night and praying for the suffering to end, while Mum was there just stroking his hair, saying this was unfortunate but a valuable lesson. On this same trip was when I first heard of Tom's dream to work on boats. While we were on a train travelling between the coast of Antibes, Nice and Monaco, Tom was fascinated by the huge super yachts in the marinas. And from that day forward, he worked tirelessly to achieve this goal. He even put posters of super yachts on his bedroom ceiling, which he would look at every morning and every night. If that's not sort of positive affirmation and manifesting, I don't know what is. It makes me so happy to see him living his dream, and it's a testament to his vision, commitment, hard work and drive. But not only did he achieve a lifelong goal, but his work led him to the Gold Coast City Marina in early 2020, where he would meet the lovely Briar, and the rest is history. Today is all about love and commitment, and to be quite honest, I was never quite sure that anything would top Tom's first true love, his Land Rover Defender. But then Briar came along. Briar, you're like the sister I never had, and I'm so thrilled that you're joining our family, and I can officially call you my sister. From our first meeting, I could tell that you and Tom shared something amazingly special, and that has only continued to flourish into your incredible relationship today. You're such a beautiful person inside and out, and you and Tom complement each other so well. I can't wait to see how your future unfolds together and the incredible adventures you will embark on as a married couple. So here's the start of your beautiful journey together and the countless memories you'll create along the way. Cheers, guys.
Test. We're on. Okay. Thanks, Rob. Bulla Vinaka, everyone. And give good evening to you all. I hope those Fiji Gulls are going down well. Now, for those who don't have the pleasure, I'm Tyron, but I identify as a Ronnie. Now that Rob has taken you through the journey of Tom's earlier years, I'm going to continue the theme and touch on the later years. I know Rob said it and a couple others have said it, but let's just take a moment to appreciate the breathtaking beauty of all the bridesmaids who are rocking those dresses like they've been born for the runway. And of course, the bride herself, who looks like she's just stepped out of a tropical dream with a Fijian sun-kissed glow. She's done well. Tommy, You've done well. Really well. And can we just talk about how good this wedding location is? Where can you get barreled in the morning, catch a dogtooth tune in the afternoon, and drink free beers at a wedding at night? The first two didn't actually happen today, but we still got the rest of the week, so my hopes remain high. Now let's get down to business. A lot of you might be asking yourself, how do you get to Guernsey alongside Rob? Well, I met Tommy at the Australian Maritime College back in 2010, where we both had our sexton style to be a ship's captain one day. Since then, I've been there for all of his most important milestones, life milestones. Number 1, meeting his first love. As Rob mentioned before, his Defender, which he's definitely spent more money on than Briar. I only know this because I got a Defender myself, and I've done the same thing. Nadia. Number 2, getting his first university degree. Well, I would hardly call it a degree when most of the exams we did were exactly the same as previous years, which were handed out by our lecturers before the exam to practice. I mean, it was a proven method, with most seafarers being rated in the top 15% of the University of Tasmania. The Apple Isle sure did look favourable on us seafarers, from providing us good grades to having the biggest cohort of nurses in the state, thinking we were lost sailors in need of rescue. Number 3, meeting his second love of his life, Briar. There was no better way for Tommy to first introduce her than on a camping trip to North Stradbroke Island, where I could really identify if she could cut the mustard. And cut it she did. Now, whilst on the topic of meeting Briar, let me share a quick story, which was mentioned a little bit earlier, but I'll go into a bit more detail on how Tommy actually pulled it off. Once upon a time, a young white boat captain sailed into the Gold Coast Sea Race, for a maintenance period on his vessel to the local marina. Unknowing to Tom, there was a young firecracker named Briar, working at the marina as an aspiring project manager. It wasn't long before they were introduced, and as expected, she caught Tom's eye. And before you know it, the planning cogs in his head were in motion, trying to work out how could he wow her. Now, as most people know, Tommy is the ultimate organiser. He can pretty much organise anything, anywhere in the world. I mean, as we are easy today, people going fishing, surf boats, he's still organising. He's the ultimate planner. So planning a date during COVID, when everything was locked down, was no dramas at all. He thought, what can I do to impress this 10? I've already birthed Dragonfly with pinpoint accuracy, and she didn't seem too impressed. He racked his brain. He thought, the winds are going to be fair tomorrow, the weather's looking epic. Why don't I take her out on a sup date on the pristine waters of the Gold Coast Seaway? Briar was blown away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where it all began. Briar, can I just say again that you look absolutely stunning today? I think we can all agree Tommy is one lucky fella, with his batting average being up there with the Sir late Donald Bradman. Not everybody might get that, but anyway. Briar, you suit Tommy down to a T, with your laid-back approach to life and your kindness towards other people. Over the years, I've seen just how happy you make Tom, and I'm stoked that he's met such an amazing woman to share his life with and his Land Rover Deffy bills with. Tommy, you've been a great mate right from the start with your generosity, kindness, and positive attitude. You're somebody that many people count themselves lucky to have in their lives. Not just because of your willingness and ability to help them out as a friend, but because your fun and light-hearted ways mean you're always a great bloke to be around. I was asked recently about if I had any skeleton in the closet type stories about Tom. I thought about the question, and I can honestly say I've got none. And I can't say a bad word about you, brother. You've achieved a lot in life thus far, and I look forward to see where you go and what you achieve from here. So, let's start warming up the iconic dance shoulder of Tommy, and let's raise our glasses to the newlyweds, the dynamic duo, the Fosters. May your days be filled with love, laughter, and more adventures in the Pirate's Treasure Map. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and the groom.
So if I can have your attention up this way, we're going to hear from two very special people, and then also the bride and groom as well. And then after that, we're going to have the cake cutting ceremony, which will be pretty special. One thing that Briar and Tom wanted me to mention to all of you is if you look on your place card that's got your name on it on your table, and then turn it around, it's got a QR code on it. You can scan that QR code, and then you can upload any photos that you take tonight, and it goes to like their cloud library, thing. So if you look at your place card, there's a QR code on the back. If you don't want to do it now or later tonight, just chuck it in your pocket, and you can do it tomorrow, and upload any photos you take tonight. We'll be interested to see what they look like come sort of midnight. All right. Well, look, like I said, we might crack on with the next round of speeches, guys. This next speech is going to have another toast at the end as well. So if you can all make sure that your glasses are full, give you one now. Just rush it to the bar if you need another one. Because this next speech is from someone very special to not only me, but also to the bride as well. He has been known to include PowerPoints and graphs and analytics in his speeches, but thankfully the Wi-Fi here on the island is so rubbish he wasn't able to download his 86-slide presentation from the cloud, so he's going to have to make do without it, which is great for everybody. But he is a man that I reckon puts half of his love into his wife, the other half into his daughter, which is saying a bit because I'm his other kid. But now, could you please put your hands together for the father of the bride, John.
Thanks, Bozo. Yeah. Oh, there's people all the way down there. So, look, I'm going to move back here. I can see you better. Yeah, look at you. How'd you get a chair all the way down there? You must be really bad. Hang on. I'll start again. Boolah! Hey! Thank you. That's fantastic, and welcome. I'll just put this glass down. I'll need it later. Can I put it there? Thanks, Sally. Oh! So, yes, thanks for the intro. I'm John. I'm the very proud father of the bride. And what a stunning bridal party. They're sort of spread around the place, but absolutely gorgeous. And, of course, a beautiful bride. Briar? Okay. Beautiful bride. Thanks, Briar. And, of course, it's not very hard to see where Briar's got her wonderful looks from. I'd like to introduce Briar, the proud mother, Rowan, the proud mother. Just so beautiful, Briar. Welcome all, and thanks for travelling to share the joy of the day with us all. Fiji, and particularly these Mamanuca Islands, have a very special place in the memories of the Lembergs. My sister Strudel, Judith, but most people know you as Strudel, I'm sure by now, and brother Marty, and I are former VU2 primary students from Suva and Suva Grammar students. And Briar's grandparents, Bill and Joe, would regularly escape for a weekend to these islands when they were living in Bar, not so far from here. And Granddad Goldie, who had a very diligent interest in your achievements and travels, Briar would be so delighted to know that you and Tom chose this location for your wedding. Well done. Now, going way back in time, Raywin had known a number of Briars where she grew up in Gisborne, in New Zealand. I didn't know many Briars at all, but Raywin had made a very early pitch for Briar as a name for a sister for Ben, should that arrive. And I didn't really warm to that name all that much. But now listen carefully here, Tom. There's a important lesson for a long and happy marriage in this little tale. Throughout the pregnancy, Raywin was convinced that Ben was going to get a little brother, for which there was bipartisan agreement in the names. No doubt about that. That was all sewn up. But because Raywin was so convinced that Ben was going to have a little brother, we just never got round to discussing a daughter's name. And there was this Briar thing hanging there, but we'd never really concluded it until that joyous day when suddenly a little girl appeared, and I just had tears of joy rolling down my cheeks and wobbly knees, and Raywin said, "Can we call her Briar?" And of course, Tom, this is the lesson. If it's the woman uses the woman's intuition card and says this is what's going to happen, you just say yes. Yeah. I'm also quietly grateful that Tom is a foster, and Briar will be Briar Foster, and not Briar Rose or Briar Fox or Briar Bush. That's worked out really well. Time has proven that the name is actually secondary to who the person is. Our Briar has defined herself as an extraordinarily caring, resilient and beautiful young woman. Briar, you impress us with your abundant zest for life, healthy living, your ability to be reflective and honest about who you are, and the love that you have for your broad network of friends, all the way down to that table. And family. Mum and I are so very proud of you and will always love you to bits. Briar's caring nature was clear in her early development of a love of animals. There have been turtles. There have been kimono dragons. Well, they're actually monitor lizards, but Briar referred to them as kimono dragons. There's been mice. There's been cats. There's been the close companion through childhood, Monty, the Labrador. And of course, we're all a little surprised that Inca didn't stubbornly find her way into a suitcase and is here with her tribe tonight. Briar has always been a goal setter and a quiet achiever. Raywin and I have enormous respect and admiration for her tenacity and resilience. We have never known her to shy away from putting her shoulder to the grindstone to push through to success, often surprising herself at what she achieves. She still now shakes her head in disbelief at how she managed to round out her secondary education, achieving academic honours, with maths delivering her highest grades when she absolutely hated maths. Young Briar wasn't just determined to tick off her goals, it was important that there was a good dose of fun along the way. And it was absolutely critical that she looked good while doing it. Briar's first team sport as a 6-year-old was soccer. She was so excited about the uniform that the game had to pause every time Briar made a presence on the field, as she would calmly sit on the ball and just look good. For Briar's first skiing trip, Raywin had bought her some thermals down in Queenstown. And what became clear as Briar appeared in the morning ready to head up the mountain for a day of skiing was that no one had told Briar that the pretty multicoloured thermals actually go on the inside of the clothes, not over them. Her love for the ocean began sailing 2-metre Sabo sailing dinghies in the temperate Tasmanian waters. As Briar's sailing skill developed, so too did the standard of yacht she required. So old plywood Sabo number 1 gave way to potentially faster fiberglass Sabo number 2. But if only it stopped there. Apparently it was critical to future race performance that Dad painted the inside of the cockpit in Barbie pink to match the highlights in a wetsuit and the trim at the top of the sail. Being a father to a daughter is different to being a father to a son. We love Ben for the joy he, Tanya, and their new family give us, and the fine young man he has become. But the gift of a daughter to a father is something particularly special, as Ben is actually finding out now. For a dad, the pathway for a son is sort of more predictable. You've been there, done that. For a daughter, not so familiar. And there is an understandable motivation to guide and protect more directly, perhaps. However, any doubts that I had that Briar may not have the skill or the courage to look after herself in the big bad world were steadily put to rest. And in fact, brother Ben shared that interest in terms of looking out for young sister Briar, and was able to put my mind at ease when, after obviously bumping into Briar and Fortitude Valley a few times. Whoa! Being the said, Dad, look, I'm not going to go into details, but believe me, there is absolutely nothing to worry about with Briar. She can look after herself just fine. Briar's penchant at times for life in the fast lane is well supported by her natural ability to handle a vehicle on or off the water very effectively. A trait perhaps inherited from your granddad Dawson and great-granddad Pop, who drove for their careers really, and both of them had a very soft spot for you, Briar. The one flaw in Briar's early driving was that she only had 2 throttle settings, fully closed and fully open. And I still recall now her learning to drive before she could drive on the road around the turning circle in our home in Launceston, and being very frustrated that she wasn't allowed to get the car out of second gear, because she would definitely blat around there far too fast. Well, the time that she took her brother out on a jet ski from Mission Beach and brought him back through white water and terrified to drop him on the beach. And I could never beat you, Briar, on a go-kart. I think it probably the power to weight ratio might have had something to do with it, but no, Briar's just got that skill to pick the line and the speed through every corner flat out. And, you've done very well. There was, after studying business and marketing at QUT in Brisbane and still yearning for travel and exploration, the white boat industry beckoned. Briar did research and explained how she would fly to Antibes and begin working by walking the docks. That was not really the description of a daughter's career start that any dad would be delighted to hear. So Rowan ended up a quickly arranged holiday with Briar to Antibes, which worked out really great for Briar because she chose the wine and Mum paid for it. The yachting industry led to the paths of Tom and Briar crossing. Tom, as we've heard, was trapped by COVID aboard Dragonfly at Gold Coast Marina, where Briar was working. Coincidentally, Rowan and I sailed in an ale boat at that time, and Briar came down to the back of the batch at one stage to say hi, accompanied by her friend Tom, who we were meeting for the first time. The meeting was polite, but brief, because Tom had to return to Dragonfly. And afterwards, Rowan, who has a far more highly attuned sense for this body language stuff than I do, pointed out quite excitedly that the way that Tom had extended his arm to touch Briar lightly on the shoulder as he departed was a clear signal that he was a very caring gentleman, for starters, and that this was more than a casual relationship. So way back then, it was all picked up by radar. Raywin and I have loved getting to know you, Tom, and witnessed the love between you and Briar grow. Like Briar, you have the exquisite ability, both, and you must agree, guys, these two share the exquisite ability to just lighten a room when you enter it, and also just lighten any relationship that you make with the love that you show for everyone. You're absolutely brilliant at it, both of you, and it's one of those things that joined together, what you'll achieve in that regard will be outstanding. And Tom, you demonstrate a genuine care and interest in the lives of others and the world around you, which, as you can see, just draws good friends to you. We admire, Tom, your sensitive and determined approach to life and can see the respect you are held in by so many. Tom, if Briar had sought our advice on what to look for in a perfect husband, it would be everything you are. Thank you, Tom, for making our daughter so happy and content. And I'm sorry, just to continue a theme that's been raised in other talks. Tom, you and I share a passion for exploration and enjoying the challenges of the journey as much as the destination. I owned a Land Rover when Raywin and I first met. And in Invercargill at the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. Yeah. And you don't own a Land Rover unless you enjoy the challenge of even commencing the journey. Raywin would mumble words of derision as she again had to scrape the winter ice from the windscreen of Lola the Corolla as the Land Rover was occupying our garage on blocks awaiting resuscitation from the latest challenge to protect. Sound familiar, Tom? Tom, you may note that Raywin and I now both drive Toyotas. Tom and Briar, your commitment to each other today has formally brought together the extended families of the Fosters and the Lembergs. Tom had the opportunity to meet our whānau in Gisborne for Raywin's birthday celebration. Poor Tom had flown directly from Amsterdam to the first gathering of the family and close friends since COVID, all of whom were determined to party without restraint. Getting through that weekend, Tom, and still being happy to be related to our mad bunch is an incredible step of faith, Tom. Oh, we are. But we're all so absolutely pleased you did. Thanks, Tom. So Nan, Raywin and I, Ben, Tanya, Felix and Freya and the broader whānau welcome you to the family, Tom, as your family has welcomed us into yours. It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure getting to know Greg, Rowan, Rob and Claire. You are such generous people with such a love of life and family. The bar has been set pretty high for us. Rowan, we Lembergs will endeavour to practice our whistle tooting ahead of the next Christmas dinner together. Although I don't know if that's going to make much difference. Wine consumption, on the other hand, at least seems to make the outcome sound better. Congratulations, Greg and Rowan. You have nurtured two very fine young men, and we are overjoyed to have Tom as a new son, and couldn't dream of a more delightful couple to share our daughter Briar with. Thank you. Thank you, Raywin, for sharing the responsibility and joy of helping to shape Briar to who she is today. Raywin, you are the love of my life and my best friend, and hope that Briar and Tom will enjoy life together as much as we have. Tom and Briar, together you took a step of faith this afternoon. Understand that life is a journey, but full of highs and lows. Your belief in the love you have for each other will always be stronger than any stumbling blocks along the way. Cherish the enthusiasm and zest for life you both share. Don't ever let it end. So, people, please join me in raising our glasses to the new Mr. and Mrs. Foster, Tom and Briar. Tom and Briar. Yes.
Well done, Pat.
Thank you, Dad. It's time for another dad to come up and talk. This is a man who is from South Africa, lives in Australia, but tells me he cheers for the All Blacks. Some would say that is called hedging your bets. I would say 1 out of 3 ain't bad. So please welcome the father of the groom, Greg.
Good evening, everybody. Bula. Come on, that's very good. My speech is way shorter than all of the others that have preceded mine. So you'll be pleased to know it's going to be over before you even know it. Anyway, I better put my glasses on, actually. Hey, you reckon? As Ben has mentioned, my name is Greg, or Saxby, as some like to call me. And my lovely wife, Rowan, over there, who's looking amazing. And we are Tom's parents, for those that don't know. Could have been someone else, you never know. Anyway, I'd like to start by welcoming each and every one of you to this special occasion, and thank you for sharing this amazing day with us. A special mention as well to our South African friends that have come from all that way, and my sister from America and all over. Thank you so much. And as you've heard before, we have a 92-year-old grandmother of Tom's and Rob's who couldn't be here, and I have an aunt called Carolyn, another sister of mine, who couldn't be here either. And they've sent a short message, which I'm going to read. It says, "For Tom and Briar from your South African family, it breaks our heart that we can't be there to celebrate your special day with you, but please know that we are sending all our love from afar. May your love grow stronger and deeper each day, and may you always be each other's guiding light. Love you from Gigi, who's 92, as I said, and her Carolyn's family, Carolyn, Henry, and Ben." And then to Briar's parents, John and Raywin, it's been a pleasure meeting you and getting to know you. We already feel that we are four of a feather, and excuse the pun, and look forward to have many special times together. Your daughter is an absolute delight and a perfect fit for our Tom. And so now a little about Tom. I used to be a farmer, so his first years of life were spent on a remote hops farm where we grew hops for beer in the Outeniqua Mountains, and where he was loved and nurtured by our family farm community. So they were my staff that used to work with me, and then we had a couple of people that used to come and attend in the house, and there was a little boy called Gordy, which befriended Tom. They became the best of friends. He was a bit older than Tom, so he was like a mentor to him in a way. He'd show him how to roll tires down the road, etc., with sticks and so on. He'd remember, hey, Tom? Anyway, they had such tremendous hours of playing together on the farm, babbling away in Afrikaans, which he can't remember speaking, and climbing on tractors, bottle feeding newborn lambs, and sloshing around in their gumboots. So he was so busy that the days were never long enough for them. Um, Tom loved farm life and was really not comfortable when he was invited to go and play in the town with with friends that he was invited to at parties and so on. He would feel intimidated by these kids and wouldn't leave his mother's side. So he was very inadequate. But but then we immigrated to Australia, and then he was about 5 years old at the time, and both he and his brother Rob adjusted so well. Tom blossomed from a shy farm boy to what you see today. He's confident, popular, sporty, discerning, and all in all a beautiful human being who has made both Rowan and I so proud. So very proud. He is humble, kind, generous, considerate, all the things that I'm not. No, I'm only kidding. And so capable in everything he puts his mind to. So, Briar, I think you've met and married a 1 in a million man, and you deserve him, being such a lovely girl yourself. Rowan has always also wanted a daughter, but we didn't. We closed. Well, I closed shop as soon as I could, and we couldn't be luckier adopting you into our family as one. But in saying all of this, I need to acknowledge someone who has helped mold and shape Tom into what he is today. And she's the rock of our family, his mum, Rowan. She's done a fantastic job in raising our two boys, always with just the right dose of strictness, leniency, masses of unconditional love and support, exposing them to amazing travel opportunities and allowing them to develop their unique and amazing selves. All of this while she was overcoming so many health issues during the last few years. So, just a quick toast to Rowan for her tenacity and survival. And finally, just to finish, I'd like to take this opportunity to convey to Tom and Briar just how much Rowan and I love you both and wish you an amazing married life together. A toast to Tom and Briar.
We got one more speech from two pretty important people tonight. I'm not going to say anything or make any jokes about them because we know why they're here. We know why we're here. Please put your hands together for Mr. and Mrs. Foster.
Well, what a special day this has been. Thank you to all so much for coming all this way, really to celebrate our wedding. To have all of you, our friends and closest, and our family and closest friends here means an incredible amount to us. The best times are always those which can be shared, and we are so grateful to have shared the times with those that mean the most to us. Here's a few special thank yous that we'd like to make.
Firstly, just some special contributions to today to Stefan for marrying us. Thank you. And to his wife, Debbie, and Mum, and all the helpers for helping set up this where we're eating. Thank you very much. To all our friends, new and old, we're so lucky to have you all in our lives. I would like to make a special mention to my girlfriends because you've all been there from the start of my love journeys, and I've ended up with a good one, so thank you very much. I would also like to thank our families. We both feel so privileged to have such close, extended and immediate families that support us and love us so dearly. To our siblings, to both our brothers for being there from the start, and to our new brothers. Thank you, Ben, for emceeing tonight. And I'd like to thank you, Ben and Tanya, for also being an inspiration and role model to me for a loving relationship. Tanya's been in my life since I was 16, so I've had a pretty solid brother and sister to look up to. To our parents, again, I think we are so lucky to have parents that are in both loving relationships to hold as role models and to show us what love is supposed to be like till for the rest of your lives. And thank you for helping us put on this week as well, to both of you and all of you. And lastly, to my husband. Tom is the coolest cucumber, as you all know. And I don't think I would have got through the wedding process without him. He stepped in even when he was on the other side of the world, calmed me down, jumped in and wrote some harshly worded emails when needed. So I love you. Thank you so much.
Guys, this has really been our dream wedding, where the focus has really been on sharing fun experiences together, both on the island and in the water, and creating lifelong memories. So for the rest of the remainder of our time here together, let's just have the best time. Cheers, guys.
I'm gonna